Ooh, man, it was a struggle to get up online tonight, man. Y'all, I am live from my new apartment that is not even fully moved in yet. So the setup ain't even right. It's been a struggle. But you check the title, check the caption. Y'all know what we talking about tonight. And we talking about Brother Kevin Samuels, who passed away last night. Now, what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna give some people some time to get in up on this stream. Oh, right. See, it's been so long since I did one of these things. I forgot I gotta share the stream out. Share the stream out, let people know we live. Not that we really gonna be, the comments are open, but we ain't really
Checking for the comments.
doing that right now, y'all. So just know that we ain't doing that. And in fact, what I'm gonna do for everybody, I'm gonna play that video. Oh, fuck, where do I get that video from? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play that video because I posted a video of them earlier today too. But give me a second. I'm gonna have to download that thing. Oh, wrong Google thing. Google Photos. Ladies, if you really want to see what your man been doing on his phone or any of that shit, don't grab his phone. Grab his get in his Google Photos. Get on the cloud, because men will take stuff, delete it, and yeah. Now you need to know that. I'm sorry. Now this damn thing's in my ear, but yeah. If you really want to know, get in the Google Drive, get on them Google Photos. But anywho, all right, we got a few people up in here. Sammy, if you can hear me, man, leave the stream and come back in and see if we can get you up in here. We got a third guest on today's show. But welcome to the Men Like Us podcast. It's a podcast, for men by men. We are amplifying the male perspective here. Mostly the perspective of men who are openly trans attracted, transamorous. There are plenty of podcast platforms, YouTube channels dedicated to, amplifying the voice of trans women. But this platform amplifies the voices of the men who engage with trans women. So, we're really sharing our thoughts. We are, we're sharing our thoughts. We're representing out here. So, and then I know this ain't the ideal like camera shot and all this stuff, but I just moved into my new space. We're trying to get this working. And for the folks on podcasts and everyone else, we will be back every Friday now. We are officially off of hiatus. We'll be back every week. I got some dope shows planned. And I have a really cool show planned in June. That's really going to be educational as fuck for a lot of people. And it's going to help a lot of people understand that this whole transgender thing is not new. It's not new. So we're really going to dig into world history and do some fucking educating. And I got some experts coming on the show. It's going to be fly. So look out for that in June. But, y'all see the title. You see the caption. Y'all know we talking about the passing of the Godfather, Kevin Samuels. And for those of you that don't know, Kevin Samuels passed away yesterday or late last night. Apparently it was a heart attack. He went into, he had what was it? Cardiac stress or whatever. Anyways, Kevin Samuels passed. He was a content creator. For those of you that don't know, he focused on relationship talk. And, really, Kevin Samuels changed the game. Kevin Samuels changed how we have the conversation around relationships. We don't talk about it the same anymore, and the conversation dynamic has actually changed. And that I just think that speaks to his impact in terms of how, like, and I'll say, for example, and I don't know if you watch a lot of YouTube Trail or not, but I do. I watch a lot of different channels and shows.
Me too.
And those conversations with black men, black women, and that whole okay, ladies, what do you bring to the table? What do you do that helps you keep a man? Like, what makes you so relationship ready? X, Y, and Z. Nobody was asking them questions really, and it really, like, I guess just the way that men see it, and you know, the way that men are starting to feel a lot more empowered in terms of their wants and needs and their desires actually matter. Like that wasn't like that before Kevin came along. It really wasn't. You know, and there's a lot of people upset with him. They because they don't agree with what he had to say and all that stuff. But you know, I don't know. What you think about Kevin? Because I want to give you some space to talk, man.
I'm gonna be honest with you. How I looked at Kevin. Kevin was something different because how you say, he went to the girl. Like if he put like not went to the girl, but he had the girl on. He would have a woman on the show and ask a woman about them, so he can have a better understanding on what they want. And I remember one piece that he was talking to on the show. He said, "How many kids you have?" And she's like, 3 kids by 2 different baby fathers, and they both gang bang. Then she said, "Yes, I want another baby. I'm about to be 40. I want another baby." Bobby, the woman didn't say nothing about marriage or anything like that. All she talked about was she want to have another baby for another man. She want a man that's going to take care of her. Kevin,
look,
you know, not saying that can't happen, but let's be realistic. Come on.
I mean, I think it is realistic, though, man. I think it is realistic. I think it is realistic that somebody with kids, they can't find somebody to love them and their children. It is possible, and I don't find that to be outrageous, but with his conversations, everything had to do with the, quote, high-value men. He's the one who popularized that term. And if you watch the show, he actually explains what that is. But, you know, for these top 3% of male earners, these upper echelon guys, these doctors, the lawyers, those high-end businessmen, like those people, those guys aren't going to take the 4 kids or the 5 kids by different like, they're not going to do it. But there's plenty of regular guys out here that will. And so the fact that, you know, anybody would ever say, well, you're going to die alone if you got kids, that isn't true. That's not completely true. And the thing is, while I am not here to cancel Kevin Samuels, and I don't agree with 100% of everything he says or anybody who listens to him say, I have critical thinking skills. There are some things that hit and there are some things that miss. But, you know, I respect the man because he came out here, he told his truth, and he didn't back down for anybody. He told some very hard truths, shared that with the world, to men and women, because that's the part that people forget because people don't actually watch him and they're not actually consumers of his content. They think, well, Kevin Samuels was on YouTube for 6 years. He was on YouTube for 6 years. He spent 2 of those years addressing women. He spent 4 years doing stuff like this.
Far too many dudes are broke, cannot pay the cost to be the boss, cannot pay 100%, don't have 100% mindset, and you want 100% cooperation with ultimate femininity and submission. You don't get that.
He spent most of the time on YouTube addressing the men, getting the men together. It just wasn't until he started addressing women that he actually became popular. But you know what? This isn't the reason why I wanted to bring up this Kevin Samuels stuff isn't to, you know, sit here and glow about him all day. What's really been shocking and the thing that's been truly disturbing to me is the reaction to his death. I have seen women literally celebrating this man's death on the internet just because they don't agree with what he has to say. And I find that to be truly disgusting, low class, and abhorrent, because not agreeing with somebody is fine. And not agreeing with somebody also doesn't give you the right. You should not feel validated in celebrating somebody's death because you don't agree with them. That's ridiculous. These things don't make sense. I'm a content creator. I literally had a girl last week talking about, wow, I hope you fucking die from your high cholesterol, which I don't have high cholesterol, but But I hope you fucking die from your high cholesterol because she didn't agree with what I had to say on one subject. She followed my channel. She supported all sorts of things. I said one thing she didn't agree with. I hope you fucking die from your high cholesterol. Really. Ladies, this shit, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. And the fact that you feel validated in that, to me, speaks to how shitty your life is. You should not find joy from somebody's death.
That's right.
If that's what makes you happy, if that's what brings you joy, you got a problem. There's something wrong. I mean, there's a whole lot of things wrong in your life. Obviously, like you're living a very sad fucking life. Now you can disagree with me and cuss me out and call me a faggot and all this other junk. Fine. It's your opinion. That's your right. Doesn't make it completely right or moral for you to do these things. Like people really feel justified, very justified, and I don't understand it. And you and I, we're content creators. And around this time last year, we had women who disagreed with our take on the Janet Mock situation because from our perspective as men, we cared about the cheating, the emasculation of that man, the gross abuse of power in the work situation. And that led to women saying, oh, your mother should have aborted you. Like, what? Like, this society is completely fucked if we can't disagree on some things and still understand that we still align on so much more.
Right.
You know, I mean, I literally had somebody try to put me on blast talking about, well, I mean, transgenderous men, I thought y'all was really for the girls and you ain't really for the girls if you fuck with this dude. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, first off, you don't have the power to tell me you're not the arbiter of who's an ally and who isn't.
Yeah, they kill me with that.
To like fucking, cause like it's really some masculine behavior trying to control men, like trying to bully people into agreeing with you on everything. And really, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off on one man because this is it's in my craw the way that some trans women make it so that if you disagree with them on one fucking issue, one thing,
you're done.
You're not an ally. You're not really for us.
No,
that's how you feel. With you, one person, and now I'm not for the whole community. Everything I said and did is completely erased. Well, you have to agree with everything I say, and that's this. No, I'm a man. I'm gonna see it from a man's perspective, and I'm gonna see it from Chris's perspective. I have my lived experience that's just as valid as yours. Now, if I see something as helpful and you don't think it is because, you know, it triggers you or whatever, fine. But just to go out wholesale, and this isn't the first time this has happened, but to really accuse somebody of not being an ally and being of this and a being of that because we disagree on one thing and one thing that has nothing to do with actual LGBT matters.
Right.
Nothing to do with any of that junk. You're not an ally. Girls, we're canceling these transamorous men because they're all this and they're that. And
I tell y'all all the time, I'm at the point that I don't give a damn. You can cancel me all you want. I'm not standing up for it. I'm not doing none of that. Because at the end of the day, how I feel on my views is not valid to you. Mm-hmm. So if my feelings and opinions is not valid to you, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm cool. You don't gotta call me an ally. I don't care. I don't care.
You know what, though, fellas?
To
the men listening to this, I really, a lot of the things we say on this podcast is really to try and help you with your experience. And one of the things that can help you with your experience is to be solid in who you are, hold to your convictions, obviously be open to different opinions, but don't let people try and control you in that way. I know that, and I'm not even gonna lie. I was that person at one point. There are other guys that are content creators that used to be that guy. There are other guys in this community that used to be that guy when, you put on your fucking cape And oh my God, I'm the hero of the community. All these girls love me, they support me, they do all this stuff. And like, don't if they don't agree with you on one thing, if they cuss you out, they call you a misogynist, call you a fan of misogynoir, all these things. You can't please everybody. Everybody, you have to be comfortable with people disagreeing with you. And just because somebody disagrees with you doesn't mean you have to change up everything. It's just one person.
And I got called all of that just because of the type of women I like.
All of that stuff. And it's a bully tactic. It's I ain't gonna front, it's some nigga shit to try and debo somebody into agreeing with you and trying to revoke their status of accepted ally and valid and all this other stuff. Yo, fall back. Who are you? Who died and made you the queen of allies? Like, no. So, I'm sorry, guys. Really, the real reason why I wanted to talk about this Kevin Samuels stuff is really to go after the reaction to this, because it is abhorrent. I can't stand for it.
Right.
I can't stand for it. But you know what? On the flip side, like I've said on this show already, I've said on earlier episodes of this show, I don't agree with everything that comes out of Kevin Samuels' mouth.
Right.
He hits on a lot of things. He says some things that guys are really thinking that they wish they had the courage to say and take the backlash over. But I mean, in some ways, it's just, I don't know. I respect the man for going out there and speaking truth and saying uncomfortable things that might upset people, like I do mostly every week, like I have been for the past few years. So I think I'm off my high horse now. I just had to get my thoughts out there about this response, because it just doesn't make sense. It's not a good look. It's very ugly. It's very ugly. And when people are tap dancing on this man's grave, I just have to look at them and be like, yo, is your life that bad?
Yeah.
That you're taking joy in this?
Bro, I ain't taking joy in nobody's death.
Okay. It's weird. It's definitely weird. But I'm not the only guy that thinks that. There are plenty of guys that think that, and there are plenty of guys that will happily, attack and I don't know. I'm not even going to call other guys names, but what I will say is I came across a new tactic today. Somebody said, well, Kevin Samuels told a woman that she should told her woman that if her child is sexually assaulted, she should believe her man and not believe her child. And then once our friend Michaela actually said, well, okay, this is what really happened. And it turned out that Kevin was pointing out the difference in terms of, because he was a stepdad. He said, hey, if you are a stepfather, things are going to be different.
Yeah.
So if the child says, hey, this happened, the stepdad is instantly out, whereas the biological father, in the way that he was explaining it, would possibly have his side of the story heard before judgment was passed by the mom. And he was just pointing out the differences between being a stepdad and a biological father. And there are differences. Let's not lie. I got friends that are stepdads, and they've been disrespected by the kids. It's been some fuck shit happening that probably wouldn't have happened if he was the actual father of the kids. So I mean, it is what it is. But you can't twist that and then say, but he's telling women to not believe their children who are sexually assaulted. Not what he said. So now what we're going to get is a lot of people paraphrasing, trying to share quotes, incidences out of context to try and make him look extra awful. And that's not the reality. So whatever. It's crazy. But man, do you have anything else on Kevin Samuels before we move on?
Not really. I mean, like I said, I watched a few of his clips. I wasn't an advocate watcher of him. Watched a few of his clips, especially when he was on the podcast that you're not cool with, the Fresh and Fit podcast.
Oh yeah, well he wasn't fucking with them
Yeah,
niggas anyways. Fresh and Fit is
yeah,
whack.
yeah. So I mean, that's about it. That's I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And you know what though? Like just like with people who hate on my program, hate on me on the episodes that I put out, uh when people come to me and say, I don't like him, this, and this, I'm like, okay, you have a fully formed opinion about this content creator. Have you actually watched their content?
Right.
Not the viral videos that are 5 minutes long. He does 3-hour long streams. Have you
Yes.
actually sat and watched the full show to see what he does? Because I promise you that 3 hours is not him back to back to back doing talking to women the whole
Yeah.
time. That is
Cause
not it.
how I first came across Kevin Samuels, he was going in on the dude.
Yeah, he gives it to the fellas. But you
Right.
know, the thing is,
That's how I got caught to.
so the thing is, you know, so just because you guys like behind the curtain time for YouTube, because I work in that space for my day job as well. The revenue this guy was making like legit anywhere between 10 and 15,000 a month off of YouTube.
Wow.
Before with the he was making maybe 2,000 a month off of YouTube. Maybe 2,000 a month off of YouTube. Probably was closer to like 1,500 off of YouTube when he was just cussing out, well, not cussing out men, but you know, getting it in on men.
Man.
Well, you go from 1,500 a month to about 15,000, maybe more on a good month. Yeah, you're gonna keep that up because it's a business at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's why he never went back to men. He never took calls from guys ever again after that point, because that's the internet spoke. The internet said we like this better than you giving it to men.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, a little bit of that, but then also with the confirmation of that story, as a journalist, 14-year journalist, that junk was really weird and really kind of disturbing, because it's all these blogs and like websites that they don't have any credibility. They can say whatever they want on these websites, and people were just taking it and running with it as like facts. And I'm like, yo, this is a blog. This is the person sitting in front of a desk. Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. But you know, and really, I would love to see the demographics of his YouTube of Kevin's YouTube channel, because I wonder how many women are watching his stuff. Even with my stuff, I'm like almost 50-50 man, woman. When you break it all down, and on some platforms, it's more women. But yeah, it's just I'm sorry, with these blog sites and stuff, all these like, you know, the Shade Room, the Grapevine, the whatever the fuck else site that you never heard of. These are all blogs, and it's like the fact that people are really going to these blogs, accepting them as like actual fact. It's just, I was actually shocked, because you know, professional news organizations get official confirmation. They talk to the police. They get police records. They get records from the medical examiner's office. You know, there are official steps that need to be taken in order to report things. But the blogs, they're not accountable to anybody. They just say whatever they want. And I guess I heard his mom found out from the blogs.
From a social media site, yeah.
Yeah. So anywho, sorry guys. I know we kind of went overkill on Kevin Samuels. We're shifting gears because one of our faithful viewers sent us a video of this comedian, I guess coming out or acknowledging that he watches trans porn, and it's really weird and stupid. It's an 11-minute long video. We're not going to watch the whole 11 minutes. We're going to watch pieces of it. But, you know, what you'll see here is a man who, you know, is half-stepping. And we're going to point out certain things that this guy is doing because, you know, I ain't going to lie. I might have done it. I've seen other guys do it. Like, I get the mindset of the man who likes trans women, but isn't quite ready to be fully open yet. Isn't quite ready to stand in his truth and stand in who and what he is. So we're going to play this we got 3 clips of it, and we just going to play it for y'all, and we just going to break it down a little bit. So just give me a second here. Because I got taken out of my fucking folder. So it's the longest one. Sorry, this platform is like really awful for this stuff. So give me a second here. All right, here we go.
So you got a big titties, good shape, but also big dick.
Huge. A small dick, that's gay. I don't watch that.
So
If she's got a small dick, I'm like, get this little dick nigga out of here, bro. You're not even a woman. You're not even a fucking woman.
you call yourself a woman with that dick?
Yo, you call yourself a woman, bro, with your soft ass? Bro, you gotta be hard dick, legged up, titties out, and a bad bitch. And I'm all in.
So I believe that's what the girls call trade. But it's just like I'm sorry, or a chaser or whatever the fuck. Like, you know, there's so many guys out there that are like, they're fucking porn hounds. They want nothing but sex, and it is what it is. But this guy, you know, he turned it into a thing on this radio show by admitting that he likes trans porn. But, you know, one of the things that guys who are, you know, kind of half-stepping or a little bit early in their journey do, one of the things that they do is they try to draw that line.
Mm-hmm.
They draw that line like, yeah, okay, over there across that line, that's gay. But over here, this is the safe space. I'm straight. I'm so straight because that's gay. And this is straight. So, you know, you try and figure out like that, like him establishing that is taking himself out of the place where he could be under fire or, you know, catch some words, some thoughts or opinions that he ain't ready to handle just yet. That's what I saw in that. What you see in that, man?
Me personally, he was doing a lot of dipping. Like, he was really like stepping around like the actual what he was really attracted to. He was doing a lot of stepping around it. And he's a comedian, so he's being comical about it. He's not he's not really explaining it to his peoples. He's playing around with it, talking to them about it. So I'm just like, wow, you know, come out and say what it is, and that's that. And then explain yourself. But the way how you doing it is bugged out. And the way how he's explaining it, like, oh no, you gotta be a little, keep that little dick out of here. You're not even a woman.
That part as well. That was his out as well to
Right.
separate himself.
Right. I'm like, huh?
It's like you positioning yourself. Yeah, I like this, but I ain't gay, and I'm gonna evaluate. It's like that. It's on some Mr. C shit. Like Mr. C did exactly the same shit, and really he shouldn't have been allowed to, since he was like that lesbian he was sitting next to. Really should have checked him on it, but
She ain't gonna do that because she's more friendly with him than anything else.
So
I know exactly what you talking about Carly Hustle.
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a mess, but you know, I want to Adonis, what up, bro? Shout out Houston. You know, he said he was probably pandering to one demographic while attempting to speak his truth. And yeah, he was pandering to, you know, what knowledge lender is, you know, talking about the anti-gayness, like the homophobia. He was like, yeah, I'm sharing this truth, but no, I'm still homophobic like you guys. I'm still anti-gay just like you. So I'm still
with y'all.
I'm not weird. Don't cast me out because I'm one of you. See, because I like this, but you know, I still understand that they're not men, they're not women. So you know, and he really kind of drives that home in another clip, which is just like, you know, you'll see this separation in this clip as well. Hold on, I think this is it.
And by the way, Mr. C's still out here, so.
Yeah, Mr. C is still. And Tara, yes, you're right. It is a fetish for this guy. Like, this is true blue. Like, the difference between a lot of the guys that come on this show that have friends in the trans community that have actually, you know, invested, made some sacrifices, all that stuff, you know, there is a difference, but it's just, you know, he is really running from himself, and he's making it this joke when it's like, bro, you actually do like this stuff. Like, stop lying. Like, stop trying to make it into something else. So here it is.
Ladies, the moment we really learn how to impregnate these nigga bitches, you're out.
It is the use of the word N-word bitches. That's what it is for me. That's another thing that he used to well, you know, I'm not really validating their gender while I'm jerking off to them and sexualizing. I'm not validating their gender expression. So by doing that, I'm with you guys separate. I'm not gay. I'm me. I'm straight. I'm this. Like it's just it's that ducking and dodging, and it's a lot of fellas that will do that. You know,
I know a lot of dudes that do that. They always try to separate the two so much. Sometimes I'll be looking at them. I'm like, yo, what is so hard just to call them women? Why is it so hard for you? You understand what I'm saying?
And knowledge lender is right. As long as gayness is viewed as negative, trans women will still be killed. Absolutely correct.
Right. Yeah,
absolutely wholeheartedly agree. That was I think that was on a if the name of that video was Trans Corn Isn't Gay. So if you guys want to watch the full clip, whatever, it is what it is. But it was really this guy, you know, admitting that he likes trans porn, and all these guys are trying to understand it, but he's explaining it in a way that makes it seem like he doesn't really buy in. He's not disagreeing with anyone's opinion that trans women aren't women. And, you know, it's just a mess. And really what it is, you know, like now listening to talk about the anti-gayness, that's a problem for a lot of guys who are new into their trans attraction. A lot of guys are struggling with their personality. They're trying to reconcile their attraction with their masculinity, and they put up walls. They put up borders. Well, I ain't gonna do that because that's the line over being gay. And I ain't gay. I'm super straight, and I don't do this, and I don't do that. And sorry, any man who does that is gay. He ain't really like me. Like, you just a weirdo. I'm really straight. And it's like, you know, I don't do this and I don't do that. And it's all these lines and barriers. But then as they grow, and I'm sure some of the girls can attest to this, as they grow, so do their barriers. And now that line starts moving, and then it starts moving. And then before you know it, it's off screen. And now, you know, because I have to be honest, you know, I was a guy, I used to judge. I used to know I ain't no bottom. Bottom is gay. That's the line between straight and gay. If you take dick in the ass, nigga, you gay. I don't fuck with you. You weird. Get the fuck over there. I'm straight. I'm gonna be right here. And that's how I was once upon a time, because I had that line to hold on to my identity of being straight.
Right. Me too. I had that time too.
Yeah, so a lot of fellas do, and that's something that homophobia can be rampant in circles of trans attracted men. It can be.
Yeah, because I had this dude, you know, at the time he was approaching his 40s, and he had to explain to me, you know, why he does what he do with his girl and everything. And I'm like, yo, you don't feel gay or anything like that? He was like, nah, I have to please her. If I don't please her, somebody else would. And I had to look at him and go, wow, he's actually right. You know, what you won't do, somebody else would.
Yeah. Yeah. And knowledge lender, you know, that's what it is he's trying to present this in a way where he still gets to hold on to this identity, this privilege, all this stuff. You don't want to let it go. It's like a little teddy bear that he was born with and he can't let it go. And, you know, Adonis knows it. You know, that's a homie. Shout out Houston again. You know, it's a process for many to get to a point of not giving a fuck. And that's where I'm at right now. I don't care. If you think I'm gay, you think I'm gay. So what? So the fuck what?
Yeah, I'm at that point. I don't give a fuck.
Whether it's men or women or even trans women that say, nigga, you too liberal with this. You like that too much. Nigga, you gay. You looking suspect. You this, you that. So what? That shit bounced right off me. I'm too grounded to be bothered and knocked off kilter by that kind of stuff. But it took time. It took time for me to be able to stand without being shook when somebody pulled my card. But this guy he's just covering for himself. He's trying to do this in a way where he doesn't get seen as the weirdo guy and exiled and all this other stuff. And, you know, it's crazy. Hats off to him for having his girlfriend was actually there on set.
Yeah, she was on set, yeah.
So, you know, hats off to her for actually, you know, being open-minded, because, again, trans-attracted, trans-amorous men don't just date trans women.
Right, we don't.
A lot of them date cis women, and you know what?
Yes.
Some date cis men. Some like femboys. Some like it. We're not just one group and all the same way. Sexuality is all over the place. You know, this is a complicated world. This is not that simple and plain. So
Sexually fluid.
I mean, it really is. You got to just find the guy who has the sexuality that you want, which is what everybody has to do. You got to find the person that fits for you, or at the very least is able to fit in, you know, with what you got going on. And Adonis said the crazy part about being pansexual too is when I have dated trans men, too many of the community was telling me I was straight.
Huh? For real?
But see, that's why I told us, like, yo, don't listen to everybody in the trans community about who you are, what you are, and how you should proceed. Work that out yourself. It's too many people that are giving advice through the filter of hurt, dysphoria, all sorts of other fucked upness. Just no, let it go. You don't know what's happening. Like, and I remember somebody was telling me about, oh, well, I saw that girl in, you know, one of the content creator girls. Oh yeah, I saw that. And she was saying this about family. And this, I said, dude, do you understand that girl ain't got no relationship with her family? And she's very contentious with her family. And in fact, she told me to not give a fuck about mine. You don't know what's happening behind the curtain with some of these folks when they're giving out these things, telling you have to, you should be like this. Fuck your family. Blah, blah, blah. Oh. No. What's up, Desiree? Long time no see, partner. I can't be with bi or pansexual men. It's just not my tea. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Because not everybody's for everybody. And that's cool. And, you know, but I'm not here to shame my brothers who want to be free.
Right. I always said that. I mean,
not in a box. So
I'm not gonna put more shame on y'all that y'all already did. I'm not gonna do that. If that's what you like, that's what you like.
The outside world, your family, all that junk, it's a lot. Trust
Who's that, Desi? Yo, Desi, what's up?
Yeah, that was Desiree. What's up? Yeah, so, you know, and let me sidebar on Desiree real quick. Desiree, we cool. I ain't got no problem with you. I have nothing directed towards you. I fucks with you. We all right, man. We good. Nah, sometimes people be like, dang, did Chris not like me? I'm like, I might disagree with you on something, but that don't mean I don't fuck with you like that. Like, we good. It's cool. So, you know, I actually had another girl who, you know, we're actually pretty solid friends. But it started out with, oh man, we went back and forth on Facebook. He don't like me. And I'm like, well, we disagree about one thing. So what?
Right. That don't mean I don't like you.
That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
Nothing. So, you know, but anywho, let me see here. I'm sorry. Oh, hold on. I think we got a possible misunderstanding here. Desiree says that's a gay relationship, cis men and trans men. People will do anything to take away from our trans identities because of our biological nature. Is sad. The man that you're addressing, or the comment that you're addressing, that man identifies as pansexual, so he doesn't identify as heterosexual. So
yeah, because he dates women.
I don't think it's like
he dates. He likes what he likes. So yeah, that's pan.
Yeah. So, welcome back, Tracy, owner of the term Hidden Valley. Oh yeah, okay, cool, gotcha, Desiree. I didn't know if you were aware of that. Tracy says, in a world where allegedly transgender men are proclaiming that there is a fine line between femboys and trans women, I can't date into that. Yeah, and that's fine, you know.
I get it.
You know, I mean, really, the thing is, you know, it's all about different strokes for different folks, and not everybody's for everybody, and it's all good. And you know, I think we can all still exist in the same space, still come together, still, you know, show up to the same events, and still support each other and all that stuff. You know, it's cool. It's all good. And yes, we do this podcast. We wholeheartedly agree. Femboys are not trans women. I don't want anybody to get that mixed up here.
Right.
Another comment about that. Yeah, no.
I'm not into them
we understand the difference. We
I'm not
understand
into
the
those
difference
at
between femboys,
all.
cross-dressers,
Right.
transvestites, and trans women, and we get the there is a complete
difference. Total difference, and I try to explain that all the time. But, you know,
I mean, I just spent like a legit 15 minutes trying to explain that to a family member last night who was, you know, trying to have a dialogue with me, you know, because yeah. But I mean, you know, it's great to have dialogue with people. But where was this last clip? I'm sorry, I want to get off. We got one more. Wait, did I already do? Hold on. All right, we got one more clip here because this one was kind of telling in this whole thing. Nope, that ain't it. So hold on. Let me. I didn't label these properly, so I think it's this one. All right. But yes, there is a fine line. We're with y'all on that. We are not.
I said the same thing right here. What Desi said.
Yeah.
She said, I just hate CD TVs and femboys invading in trans spaces. I said the same thing in the group the other day. Somebody had the nerve to come in back and forth with me about it. I'm like, huh? Dude.
Yeah.
They do not belong in this space.
No. And you know, for the people that are watching that may not know, cross-dressers are men who dress part-time. They live their lives as men, and they enjoy dressing up as women for a moment. Femboys are gay men who are feminine, hence the term femboys, but they are still men. They are not women. They are not trans women. Those are men. So if you are a cisgender man and you deal with a femboy, that is a gay relationship because that is a man on a man. And, you know, that's fine. You know, I mean, I'm not shitting on it or anything like that. That's not what I'm here to do. But there is, you know, a difference. You know, same, yeah, like Adonis, non-binary, definitely difference. But you know what? I think, you know, also now, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Non-binary.
I'm what I'm gonna say is I've seen spaces where trans women have allowed cross-dressers or femboys or non-binary people. They allowed them to get into trans spaces, then they allowed them to take up space. And I'm sitting there like,
they don't know no better.
We talking about relationships up between men and trans women. Why is these other people here? They ain't even a part of this.
Right.
Like your gay friend they shouldn't even be in this conversation. Kind of like what we were talking about with that T.S. Madison clip. If you haven't seen it, we did break down a clip of T.S. Madison's first episode.
Yeah.
It was a mess. It just was a mess. So, yeah. Anywho, I'll let them keep going in the comments there because they're having a whole Q session about not fucking with men who date or who dabble in things other than trans women. So, have fun. Next, we're gonna get back to the clip here.
None of y'all ever watched that. Sorry, I have to ask this question. Am I the only one in this room? Be honest, fucking with me, dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's watched that shit?
Yes.
Al, we know you're lying, but anybody else? No, you don't watch. I believe it.
No. I believe I've watched a trans woman fuck a woman.
That's what he likes, I think.
I like that too. No.
So he asked the room, is he the only one that watches trans porn? And then here comes the white guy in the chair. Oh, I believe I've watched one with a trans woman and a cis woman. I believe I've seen that. What do you mean you believe? You know you've seen that shit. Like, why are you tap dancing around?
Tap dancing around it.
I believe I can't recall. No, you did see that shit. And let's be real, it didn't stop there. It didn't stop there. It kept going. It didn't stop there. So, you know, like that, this whole like, oh, you know, again, drawing barriers between this is gay, this is straight, and over there is gay town. As long as there's a cis woman in it, then I'm over here in straight town and I'm good.
Right.
It's like, really? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, why are you putting up these barriers? Just admit it. Just call it. Live in your truth, man. And when I say live in your truth, I'm not talking about people making up alternate versions of the truth. It's saying, well, but that's my truth. I'm talking about being real and open and accepting yourself and just saying, yeah, whatever. I seen it too. Because I actually went and looked through, Pornhub puts out statistics every year. And they listed the top porn categories for each age demographic. Transgender porn didn't show up in any of them except for 18 to 24. 18 to 24, it made it in the top 5. All the rest of them, it wasn't there. It was, and overall, transgender porn was like in the middle of the pack. It wasn't even at the top of the pack in terms of the stuff that people search on their site. Because there's a misnomer that people like to put out. Trans porn is the most searched porn. No, the data says that trans porn is actually in the middle of the pack, but it is more popular with the 18 to 24s than any other age group on Pornhub specifically. Don't have stats for the other platforms, but Pornhub's a pretty big platform. So, when I watched this whole radio show thing again, I caught that dude was like, well, I believe. And it was just like, I don't know. The clip was, thank you to the viewer who sent me that clip. But, I think the whole interaction was definitely whack. And I think it was, a lot of jokes at the expense of, the community. Desiree, they do not tally it as a whole because different platforms, they don't share information. Different websites don't. Different companies don't. And there is no unified analytics measuring at all between all the companies. So really, you would have to wait for X Hamster to put out their report, X Video to put out their report, and then you can kind of parse the information separately. But a lot of these companies, they don't share metrics because they're in competition. But Pornhub is pleasant enough to give us a lot of data. And I mean a lot of data. Anywho, that's all I really got for this video. I mean, I did comment on the video, just saying like, wow, this guy. No. On Pornhub, it's not hearsay. They put out the raw data. On the other ones, on the other platforms, yeah, it is hearsay. There's no actual data given to the public about what's happening on their platform.
Only Pornhub do that.
Yeah. So, but this guy, if you watch the full video, this guy masterfully covered up for himself, cloaked himself in homophobia and transphobia, and shared his truth. Essentially, he still got it out there while saying cloaked in these other things, using terms like the N-word, bitches, and drawing a line verbally like, no, but that's gay because I only like the big ones, and it's just it seemed like the whole thing was at the expense and other girls in terms of sensationalizing their bodies. Oh, it's got to be big, and it's just you're going for the gusto in your comedy. But, he's not the first comedian to use his comedy to kind of come out partially.
Right.
Jimmy Norton was the first one to do that. I remember Jimmy Norton first telling a story about like, yeah, I'm a fucking scumbag. Well, I'm on the stroll and I love hookers and especially training ones because, I'm a real piece of shit. And he's like he was building himself into a creep to make it allowable for him to, like transfer. It's ridiculous. And we never said people couldn't. All right, bye, Desiree. Yeah, so again, because this is we keep coming back to this for whatever reason in the comments. I want to be as clear as possible. Not everyone is for everyone, and people have a right to their preferences in terms of what kind of people they will date.
Right.
I've said that many times on this show. People have disagreed with me. People have been triggered. People have been all whatever the fuck. But just a woman can choose the man that she wants, and I get to choose the woman I want. And if I want a woman with a penis instead of a vagina, that's my fucking choice. And if a woman wants a man who only dates women, that's her choice. Just like a gay man can only want a man who dates gay men and doesn't want a bisexual man. That's his fucking choice. That's his right. Everybody has a right to preference and choose who they want to be with. So at no point are we going to crap on it. While I don't crap on anybody living their life and liking who they like, if you don't like men, ladies, if you don't like men who are bisexual or pansexual, totally fine. There is somebody for them. There's somebody for you. And, you know, not everybody's for everybody. That's perfectly cool.
Right.
But, you know, on the flip side, you know, the biggest contention, one of the main things that pissed a shit ton of women off, you know, very early when I started the show was the fact that we have our preferences too. And I like women with dick. And I don't want my woman with a vagina. Sorry.
Right.
That's my preference. That's what I like. And I have a right to it.
That's my
That doesn't mean
preference
I'm
too.
a fetishizer. That doesn't mean I'm a chaser.
Nope.
That doesn't mean I get any titles or negativity thrown my way, or I'm deserving of negative titles because of what I like. What I like doesn't affect you.
Right.
If you're not it, then that's fine. And it's me and Trump, we big dudes. There's many women that don't like big guys. Fine. There's
Exactly.
somebody for us.
Right.
No issue. So, you know, I hope I explain that as clearly as possible to everybody so they really understand the stance on this podcast. But also, before we wrap up, the stance on this podcast is we're not completely canceling Kevin Samuels, and we're not completely canceling him, and we find the reaction of some women to his death absolutely disgusting, classless, and even some of the men disgusting and classless. You cannot agree with somebody and still not celebrate their death.
Right.
This man went out there on the streets killing people. He wasn't beating on women. He wasn't committing no crimes. He shared his opinion and you didn't agree with it. And that's fine. I'm getting phone calls out the yin yang right now, but anywho. Yeah, that's really it, guys. Troy, you got anything before we wrap this thing on up, bro?
Not much, man. Like I said before, man, you like what you like. That is your preference. That's your business. I mean, what I drink don't make you piss. What I eat don't make you shit. And that's how that's supposed to be. You feel me? But yeah, everybody just hit me. Everybody that, I mean, 'cause I get a lot of hit ups all the time. So anybody hit me up on my name, I'm King Cleatrell on all platforms. All platforms. So hit me up. I mean, we could chat. Come correct though. All right, come correct. Always gotta make a fair warning about that. Coming correct.
For sure. And guys, everyone, please, if you do hit me up or hit the show up, understand that I do have a life and I'm not always checking the inboxes, but when I will get back to you when I can. So I've had some people upset that I didn't respond, you know, within an hour or whatever. I don't check the inbox all the time. You know, I have a job. I got a girlfriend. I'm traveling. I'm all over the place. So, you know, anywho, with that, thank you everybody for listening to us this week on the Men Like Us podcast. Shout out to the homie Trell for joining me today. And, you know, shout out to the fellas out there who's living in their truth. And fellas, if you're not living in your truth just yet, keep working, keep doing the work, take a chance, get yourself out there, and, you know, keep learning, keep growing, fellas. We here for y'all.
It gets greater later.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Peace.